Solve the quadratic equation by completing the square. Completing the square is a method to create solving by factoring, but you want it to factor a very specific way so you can use square roots to solve your answer. To do this, we need to pick a different C number. Right now I have -5 in that spot. I don't want that -5 right there. I'm going to add that -5 or add 5 to the other side so it cancels out. And I'm going to leave a blank spot where that -5 was. Let me rewrite this. X squared minus 4x, I'm going to say plus blank equals, now the 5 is on this side. That blank that is right there, we want to pick a different number to put in that spot. Now if I'm going to add something over on this side, I have to add something on the other side to keep it balanced. The number that goes in that blank spot, I want it to be a specific number so that when I factor, we are actually factoring the same number twice. The trick for this is we're going to take our B number, this -4, and we're going to split it in half. So if I were to split -4 in half, I'd have -2 and -2. And then the way that factoring works, I need to know what the product of those two numbers would be. So I split those apart, and now I'm going to multiply -2 times -2 back together. That would be a +4. So the magic number I'm going to add to both sides of this equation will be +4. All right. What that does is on the right side, 5 plus 4, we can just call that 9. On the left side, we already have our factoring essentially done. Our factoring is going to be x minus 2 and x minus 2. We're supposed to have the same factor written twice. So I'm going to write it as a factor squared because I have two of those factors. I have x minus 2 squared, not the 4. The 4 is split in half into -2 and -2. Okay. Now when we're solving this, we just do like we have before, where we square root to make the square go away. So let me show you what that would look like. I would still have x minus 2 equals, this time we have plus or minus square root of 9, because I square rooted to make the square go away. I need to add the 2 to the other side. That way I have just x equals. So I'm going to add the 2. I'm not going to put it directly with square root of 9 because that may or may not simplify just yet. Let's look at it. X equals, that'd be +2 plus or minus. We're kind of lucky in this case because square root of 9 is just a normal 3. But since these are whole number answers, I can actually split this answer apart and get my two versions of my answer. I have x equals 2 plus 3, or I have x equals 2 minus 3. If I solve these two little miniature equations, I'll have my two answers for this question. 2 plus 3 would equal 5. 2 minus 3 is -1. My two answers are 5 or -1.